Hi, I'm Darren, Marna's husband, and this is the Dolls Rescued channel. Marna and Tina's Reborns and more done a little project with a toddler here. They took the same doll and turned it into, same Blythe doll, turned it into toddler. And Marna asked me to print out a simple oven she found on Thingiverse. Thingiverse is a collection of 3D printable models that other people submit. We've submitted a few things in the past. And anyway, the oven just didn't, she wants to do a project where they're baking cookies, or she wanted to show them baking cookies. And the oven was just really not very well done. So I took it upon myself to make my own oven. This is the base model here. It's got a little splashback, place for the dials, the oven interior, and a little drawer here in the bottom for storing your baking pans. And I printed this.
And the one that I had shown him was just a block.
Yeah, I'll show this
okay.
in the video so you can see the original she asked me to print. So I did this model. Here's the drawer. It's going to go in here. Here is some grills I printed. I have little pans or little notches where they slide into. I wish I'd put more notches so you could set the heights different, just for fun. It's not a big deal. And then I still need to glue all these pieces together, of course, and that's when we do that, and finish sanding them. And I'll show you why they have to be sanded. And then this is the drawer front that needs to be glued to the drawer. This is the oven door, which we're just going to kind of fake the hinges. It's kind of hard. Go look at your oven. The hinges are quite complex, and I don't have time to make a real fancy hidden pocket door hinge. Anyway, and then this is the handle for the door, oven door. And then she asked me, I did not design these. These are just straight off of Thingiverse. She sent me a pattern. I printed them in a couple of different sizes. Pattern of pots and stuff. And also for the top of the oven, back up a little bit, the actual burners for the stove top, and I made some little knobs
so tiny, here. They're really cute.
Yeah, I put actual little, anyway.
And he's got the little hand grip on it.
I'm going to glue these across the front here, glue these 4 here across the top. Finish sanding. You probably can't see when printing. It's really cold here. It's winter. 3D printer's like a warm room, so I really have to, it's complicated, but I basically have to cause the printer to print jammed down on the bed so it sticks, because as you print height, it starts to come undone because the heat of the base and the heat on the top, and it chills in the middle, and those temperature gradients cause it to warp. And in fact, this is the first piece I printed, and it's a big piece. These are really hard to print on a 3D printer in the cold, and you might be able to see it warped as it printed. It's got a bend here in all 4 corners. If you look right on the edge, you can see it's kind of cupped. It's in the back. No one will ever see it. It's fine.
And it really bugged him. The truth is, he wanted to reprint it. I said, Darren, nobody's going to see the back. How long did it take these to print?
Oh my goodness, it's like 19 hours for the body piece, and then of course goes down from there. A couple hours for the pots and pans and such. So this is what I had to do. This is the second model, which failed to print because I ran out of filament in the spool. So what I did to keep it stuck down to the base so it wouldn't is printed it with extra filament, and they call this a raft to attach it so it stays attached to the bed. And you might be able to see it doesn't have that same bent cornered problem, but now I need to go along and sand all of this, and I did that to all of the pieces here that were large so that they wouldn't warp anymore. Anyway, so I'm going to cut this excess material off, sand the edges so that the corners are nice, and glue all this back together, or glue it all together, and we'll be right back. Well, it'll be a couple hours. Okay, after several hours of other projects and sanding, I've trimmed off the flashing and sanded the corners and all that kind of stuff. I think we're ready to glue. You can see we've got 2 full sets here of ovens, and pull up a little bit. You're awfully close there, cameraman. And we're going to glue it all together and see what we've got. Try and figure out something for the doors. I just have to glue the door handles on, the burners, the 4 burners, and then there are 5 knobs that go across the front here. And that's it. Oh, and the door, the top, the front of the drawer.
How cute is that?
Here we are drying. Okay, so we have glued it all together here. This one here is almost done. I want to show you what we ended up doing for it, but you can see here the drawer is glued in now. All the tops are on, and the little door here. Told you the hinges were complicated in a real oven, and I was going to try and fake it, and it just didn't work out right. It just looked terrible. So I kind of made a compromise here, and I figured out how. Basically, I took these, printed these little bitty, I don't know what you want to call it, tubes.
Beads.
And made the inside hole the diameter of the filament that we used to print with. And so these make a hinge, one side glued to the door, one side glued to the body, and then can hinge on the door. And
Which is much like what they have on real stoves.
well, no, that's not. Go look at
Okay.
your stove. You'll see how complicated it is. But
Okay.
I've done one here as my test one here, and you can see here how they glued up. And it comes and opens. And then what I also did, it kind of didn't close and stay closed. Obviously, there's no latch. So I took and recessed a little magnet here and on the inside up here. And it closes and stays closed, but it's easy to open. And that's my little oven. Just about 30 hours of printing. Lord knows how much
Each.
time. Yeah, each. Fighting over all the little sanding and figuring it all out. But it turned out really cute. I'm real happy with them.
Set the pots and pans on there that you made. They're just adorable. He came up with all of this. He enhanced what they had for pots and pans on Thingiverse. And I had asked for the simplest stove, and I got one that if we sold these, we'd have to ask as much as a full-size stove. The hours and hours and time involved in these. I can't thank Deron enough.
Well, it was a fun project. Not often I get to do something like this, and well, we'll see how it works out. We'll see it in a video, I'm sure, in the future. Thank you for watching the Dolls Rescue channel. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe.